Hi everybody, today we're going to be learning about some acrylic brush techniques and how to blend with acrylics. So the first thing that you're going to need is a Sharpie, pencil, your mixed media paper, a ruler, some water for your paint, and then as far as paint goes you're going to need red, yellow, blue, white, and black, and then somewhere to mix your paint. You can use a plate or wax paper. And you'll need a paper towel. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do on your paper is turn it horizontal like this. And then we are going to use our ruler with our Sharpie, we're going to split our paper into thirds horizontally. So 1, 2 lines. So now you have 3 rows here. And then I'm going to label this top row. This is going to be scumbling, S-C-U-M-B, I think it's L-I-N-G. The next one below that is layering, L-A-Y-E-R-I-N-G. And the last one is feathering, F-E-A-T-H-E-R-I-N-G. Okay. Oh, and of course you'll need a paintbrush too. Get a nice sized paintbrush here. All right. So, with scumbling, what we're going to do is we're going to take our color wheel here. I'm going to start with blue violet. So I'm going to mix up a little puddle of blue violet here. And again, the way that I do that is I take some blue and some red, except heavier on the blue side because blue violet is mostly blue. And then I'm going to start with that color, so I'm going to go over here, start putting that in these small circular fashion. Just in circles like this. And you're kind of scrubbing the brush on the paper in circular motion. Now, the paint is starting to run out on my paintbrush. That's okay, I'm just going to keep going until it's completely run out. Okay, so you're kind of feathering it out until it's completely out. And that leaves me room to transition into my next color, which is going to be just regular old violet. So equal parts red and blue. And I'm going to scumble that into my previous violet a little bit, just like that, in circular fashion. And then I'm going to scumble it away into the right side so I can blend my next color. And again, I'm just going to keep going until my paint runs out and I get kind of like this feathered out effect. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go red violet. So it's going to be kind of a reddish purple color. And again, I'm going to scumble that into my violet that I just made. And and then also away into the paper. So you're going left and right. Until I run out of paint on my paintbrush. There we go. And now I can just go in with my pure red. I'm just going in with a little glob of red here. And I'm scumbling that into my red violet that I just made. So the point is that we're going around the color wheel. So I started with blue violet, now I'm moving on violet, and now I'm on to red. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to red-orange, and I'm going to make that by, I'm going to actually make a new puddle here so it doesn't turn purple, but I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow to this here. And then I'm going to start putting that in over here. And in the end, I'm going to kind of end up with a pure orange. So I'm going to mix that. And I'm going to put that into, blend it in with my red-orange here. Okay. Alright, so now you have a really beautiful range of colors that you've blended together. That's one way that you can blend. So you're going to rinse your brush, wipe it, and now I'm going to do layering. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to use our shades and tints, which shades is adding black to a color and tints is adding white to a color. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to mix some black and some blue. And we're going to start from darkest to light, so we're going to mix a really dark shade of blue here. With layering, we're going to do up and down strokes like this. Scumbling, we did them in circles, but with layering, it's up and down. You can kind of go side to side to make it look, you know, keep it inside the lines, but it's up and down. Okay, and with layering, we really need to work fast because that's how the color blends together. Acrylic dries out really quickly, so I'm gonna work really fast to start creating my next value. And I'm blending it up and down into the last color. So I made this value by adding some white to that black that I just made with the blue. And I'm just going up and down. So go back into your mixture, add some blue, a little bit of black, and then more white this time for your next value. I'm working quickly to put this back into that previous color so it doesn't dry out. up and down. Okay, continuing to add white and a little bit of blue, up and down. I just added a little bit of water to help it spread a little bit easier. Sometimes it starts to get tacky, sticky. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Try not to get too white too quickly. I think I got too white too quickly, that's okay. So I'm just going to spread out these sections a little bit more. Okay, add a little bit of white, a little bit of blue, go back in here. Spread out this section a bit more. Go in with my white. Making it a little bit lighter. Right. Continuing to get lighter and lighter. While maintaining that blue. Just keep going. I literally just added just white right there because my paint is still wet and I can still kind of mix it on the paper. Okay. So this section you really got to work quick. Make sure that the paint doesn't dry before you can get to it. Okay, dry out your brush, or rinse it and then dry it, paper towel. Okay. So for feathering, you're actually going to start with, let's start with yellow, just pure yellow. And the technique with this is that, you know, scumbling we did circles. Feathering, we're gonna do kind of crisscrossing motions like this. And you'll notice that as your paint runs out, it'll start to look a little dry. We want that. We want it to kind of feather out like this. Just like we did with scumbling, you know, you're going to go from right to left, and as you go from left to right, and as you go from left to right, your paint will start to run out. And that's fine because that'll help us transition into our next color, which is going to be our lime green or yellow green. So mostly yellow with a little bit of blue in there to make green. Okay, so now I'm going to feather this in here. And this time it doesn't really matter if your paint is wet or dry. When you mix it. So again, I'm feathering it into the color before it and then out on the right. Just kind of going back and forth in these kind of crazy crisscrossy pattern. And again, I'm feathering it out to the right so I can put my next color, which is going to be just green. So some blue and some yellow, a little more yellow. Okay, I'm going to mix that into my lime green that I just made by feathering it out like so. These quick brush marks up and down, left and right, kind of crossing over each other. Okay, feathering it out on this side as well. So I can create my next color, which is going to be kind of a bluish green. So heavier on the blue. Continuing to feather it out. Okay. Now I'm going to do just pure blue. So I'm just taking a little bit of this blue here and I'm putting it right into the mix here, mixing everything together. Going in these crazy cross motions. All right, and now we are back to our blue-violet. So mix up that blue-violet mixture again. And then just get that in there using the same techniques that we've been using, feathering. And this time at the end, of course, you don't have to feather it out to the right. Okay, and then until you get it all the way. And there you go. All right, so as you can see, we went all the way around the color wheel by just using these colors, by just using red, yellow, and blue. So, you know, reference your color wheel if you need it. Rinse your brush, wipe it, make sure you clean it. You don't need any brush killers here. And then if you painted over your lettering here, you know, put it back in, and then just make sure that you turn it into, take a picture of it, turn it in onto Google Classroom so I can give you credit, and then you'll be good. So thank you, and if you have any questions, let me know.